Want to start?
I pledge
Pledge of allegiance
to the
to
flag
the United States
of
of
America, and to the republic
for which it
for which
stands,
stands one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all. Debbie, if you want to take roll.
All right, Al Tenaglia,
I am here.
Ray Snyder,
Present.
Jeff Fogel,
He's here.
I know he's here. Are you on mute?
Jeff, are you on mute?
He's talking, but he's not.
We see him there. He's there.
I double muted.
Okay. Brian Long,
He's here.
he's muted, and
I'm here. Yep.
Tony Stango
Here.
and Tim Heath. I know he's here.
Okay. What we can do is start with the administrative report, so just hold on 1 minute.
Brian, you want to do that?
Sure.
Oh, 1 second. There we go.
So really this, Tony and I met and, decided to make this report really the, issue that we relayed to, whether we go to a mask optional, or mandatory mask. And so, as you guided us last month, you asked us to do the surveys, you asked us to, to conduct some information for you. And this is basically the information that we've been able to tally since you guys gave us that direction. So it's really self-explanatory with what's on here. You can see that we did do the staff survey as you had asked, and you can see the representations there. 84% are or represent 84% want the mask mandatory to remain in effect. The parent survey was very similar to what the staff responses were. And so we just wanted to list for you what basically the breakdown is of what we've been dealing with at the school since our return back. And again, it's all self-explanatory with what's written here. And we just conclude with the, again, this is the information that you had wanted us to provide for you, so that you can make your decisions whenever you get to that agenda point in the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian.
You're
All right,
welcome.
thanks, Bri. All right. Back to the board meeting. At this point, then, we would have open floor topics. Anyone?
On the agenda, there's a link to a report that Mr. Redford has
Yes.
sent
Now,
us.
Mr. Redford, he just
He just-
messaged in the chat that he is having internet difficulties. He doesn't believe he's going to be able to give his report.
Okay,
You go
I
into
just saw the
you'll
chat
see what he
as
what he
well.
stated, yeah.
Okay. Well, the report is there if anyone wants to take a look at it.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. It is I can scroll through and I'll scroll through slow and just let me know if you want me to stop on any of the pages. Okay. But unfortunately, I know Ian can't speak, but thank you for submitting the report. And I guess at this point, then, we're out of open floor topics.
Was there anyone else who's
That's-
making? I don't see any. Okay,
I do know that Ian did mention in the chat that he does see the report that was done with 85% of the staff and parents. But his question was, he finds himself asking based on what data? That's what was posted in the chat.
I guess it was individual data that people took into consideration.
Which would be my understanding from the survey put out. Okay, anyone else on open floor topics? All right, then we'll move from open floor topics into business at hand. Acceptance of the administrator's report.
I'll motion.
I'll motion.
Okay,
Too late.
any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Approval of the minutes from December 1st board meeting.
I'll motion.
Okay,
Second.
second?
Jeff,
Anybody? Okay, any discussion on the approval of the minutes?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then the ratification of the bill list.
I'll motion. Oh, sorry.
I'll second. I'll second.
Okay, any discussion with anything on the bill list?
Nope.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. No old business to report, so we'll move on to new business. Approve the emergency instructional time template as listed out here. I mean, if you just want me to read that, I can read it, but
Yeah, I've already read it. So
Right.
I've read-
so there is a motion to ratify the BCMCS 2021-2022 emergency instructional timetable template, excuse me.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Okay, is any discussion on that?
I have a question. What is an asynchronous instructional? What is asynchronous or synchronous instruction? Brian, you know?
Sorry, I was muted. Synchronous is whenever the teacher is zooming
Right.
and it's direct instruction that's happening on time. Asynchronous would just be where a teacher would post work and say, do this work that's on this, on this platform or on this page. And so that's the differentiation between the two.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess at this point, since we got the motions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Or any,
I abstain.
okay. So we got one aye, one abstain, and Jeff?
Aye.
Okay. So. Approve upgrade from our current MMS administrative management software to the new Focus system software for the 2022-2023 school year. And it is based on the following modulars, so let me pull them up. Oop. So I
I'll
just
motion.
didn't-
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on this?
Yeah. Hey, Tony, just quick questions around some of this, and maybe you can answer. Have we looked at what the new maintenance cost would be? I know we're upgrading and it seems like it's a much more comprehensive system.
It's
But-
all included. Maintenance is included, and the training is included in that price.
And then the price. Any need for, is this going to be hosted on our site or outside on the cloud?
Now, the nice thing is it's going to be a web-based system, and we're going to have a parent portal where we could have report cards posted on the parent portal. Parents could review the report cards right on the portal. We could do messaging on the parent portal. It's going to be much more robust than what we've had. Filing of state reports is going to be easier. Maintaining of health records is going to be easier. It's a really nice system. Jason and I both sat in on a tutorial of it, and we're both very impressed.
And this will also still be,
It's the same company that hosts the current one, but it's just an upgrade.
so it's the same company. So we're
Yes.
not changing companies. This
No.
newer package, we're upgrading. It's all going to be web-based. I think we all know what's going on. Well, actually, some of us do because we're in Pennsbury. But Pennsbury is suffering from an outage right now due to a cyber attack,
Yeah,
and they've been down for 3 days. Right. So, Tony, I would like to make sure there's due diligence done on how we're going to protect ourselves. There's always nefarious attacks happening, but have we researched that with the company, how they're going to protect and monitor our incident?
Yeah, why don't you, Jason, and I have a brief go through on that. Since you head up the IT committee, we could set up a little meeting, show you what's going on and how the security backup on this.
I'd like to see that just based upon what's going on right now. If you don't mind, unless you guys have to make a decision tonight. So can we move? I'd like the motions to move to the next meeting.
I did tell them we would have a decision for them at the end of the meeting, but we can make it contingent upon verification of any safety concerns we might have.
Okay. If we could do that, I'd feel comfortable.
Okay.
So do we have to amend the motion here?
I would just
Yes.
amend it to upgrade contingent upon review and approval by our IT committee, which Jeff heads up.
so we make a motion based on that.
That's what I would recommend.
I'll make that
Okay.
motion.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor based on the amendment to it?
Aye.
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 Unanimous. Now on the open house, annual open house, typically scheduled to take place at the school on the first Thursday in February.
A motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that?
I see we are going to do an open house video with interactive Q&A at school. Are we doing this remotely, or is this going to be done hybrid, having both? How we handle this, Brian?
Basically, I created a video, and so they'll be able to see the open house video, sort of what the presentation that I'd given. And then after that, there will be a Q&A, and we're going to have that open on a certain date, and it's listed all on the website. They'll be able to go on there, and through the Q&A, that's where we would go into, if they had any questions from what the video presented. And then at
But
that
as I
point,
see, we're avoiding with the ongoing though. We're not in person. We're going to avoid.
yes, yep.
Okay.
Why do we want to avoid it in person?
It's just what we had done last year, and we're still in a just situation where we're doing even this meeting tonight. We're doing it online. Sometimes, with all that's transpired, I have to say that there's some things that are just make more sense when we can do it this way, and some things that don't. I'm with you, Ray. I think sometimes you need to see face to face, but other times, sometimes you can.
Yes, maybe included in the, if anybody wants to meet, with you personally.
Yeah.
And they can call the school, make an appointment, tell them, you're available Saturday, Sunday,
Wise guy.
Fridays at 9 p.m.
Honestly, I would love to do that.
Have them over the house.
Yeah, we would be inundated with people wanting to come in to see what
It would-
happens.
It would
It
be
really would.
difficult.
I mean, I just can tell you from parent, at least here in the school district with Liam, they didn't do it in person this year either at the in Pennsbury. Did everything remotely.
I mean, you'd be introducing like 100 people into the building.
I'm not comfortable with that, especially with everything going around based on the statistics I saw above. That's just too much to have to be done. So I'm good.
Okay. So I think we did the motion, correct?
Yep.
Jeff made the motion, Debbie second.
Right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous.
Aye.
So now we're approved open enrollment for the 2022-2023 school year.
A motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. And authorize administrative leadership team to prepare a proposed 2022-2023 school calendar for approval consideration at the March BOT meeting.
A motion.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. And then we have review of the BCMCS school masking policy on January 17th. And then I know it came down to motion A or motion B.
Some process wise, we motion to, you're asking
You
for a
were-
vote now.
You're breaking up, Jeff.
What's the question we're asking? Are we asking us to vote on A or B at this point? Or are we asking to approve one of the two motions and then we vote?
We're,
We're asking for someone to either make a motion A or
Or
motion
motion
B,
B.
or if you prefer some other motion. But they seem to be the most.
I
logical.
motion for A.
You cut out, Debbie.
I second that.
Okay,
I make the motion for B.
okay. So we have 2 for A, 1 for B.
Well,
Can you open discussion?
sure.
Right. So if this wants to be discussed, we'll open it to discussion.
What is Pennsbury currently doing?
They're requiring masking.
And what did the health department say? Is it up to the school districts?
Local. It's up to local.
Right.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sorry, Deb, I couldn't hear you.
No, I was finished. I was basing it off of what the survey showed.
Likewise, my vote was, based upon the overwhelming information we've learned from the survey. And I understand also that, depends on where people are collecting the information. But the fact is they knew what the questions were, and it was pretty convincing in both cases on the parent community as well as the administrative committee, which direction they were leaning, and I'd like to follow their direction. I'm sorry, I'm looking at on my other screen, I'm looking at the information by on an administrative report. That's what I was pulling up. These are so. Okay, where are we at?
I know there's both you and Debbie motioning for A and Ray for B.
So vote.
So motion A, Albert, point of
Pardon
order,
me?
has a
I-
second. Motion B is dying for lack of a second.
Right.
Correct. So then you
So-
would start.
I
you
mean,
would start-
with motion B, with motion B and how I feel about it, I mean, I'll say this, that masking is only a part of our policy. There's no masking policy. It is a component of an overall, virus mitigation, initiative.
Correct.
So, the data, from what I've seen, both sides of this argument, I think that if somebody doesn't want to wear a mask or don't want their children to wear a mask, that they shouldn't be ignored. And I don't know if the data supports this. I mean, listen, once the kids leave the school, once the staff leaves the school, you don't have any control over they're wearing masks or not wearing masks. So, I almost feel like we're chasing our tail with this. And I'd like to reiterate that, what mask? Everybody wearing an N95 mask? I put on an N95 mask and man, I gotta tell you, a hard time breathing through them things, and I don't know if continuing to requiring the mask portion of the policy is really changing anything. I don't know if it's having the impact that everybody hopes it is. And I don't, data certainly that I'm reading doesn't support it. And that presentation that we saw today, and that I read the other day, I don't know, that's not his statistics, Mr. Reffer's statistics. That's
Right.
coming from the CDC.
Right.
So, I think that this is we're going to continue COVID-19 mitigation. The question here is whether that component requiring to wear a mask should continue. I'm making it motion A or motion B. If it's motion A, then I'm assuming that all the other contingencies remain in place. If it's motion B, I also believe that everything else is going to stay in place. We're going to keep it clean. We're going to wash our hands. We're going to,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So,
I mean, I personally am not in favor of masks. However, I work in an environment where 85% of the staff is concerned and wants masks. And I
Right.
work in an environment where 85% of the parents want masks. So even if it was optional, out of respect for them, I would continue wearing a mask. And I think that should be considered also, because we do have.
I'm absolutely considering it. And
Yeah.
I'm still wondering why, we're only getting 85% response.
And we still have students
So
and
the other
staff members.
15%, so the other 15% don't care either way. Are we assuming that? Are we
What's that?
assuming that
Oh,
they
you mean-
want masks because they didn't respond, or they?
85% of those who responded to keep it. And the other thing is, we do have people with immune compromise situations, both in the staff and students.
Right.
People on chemotherapy and, some pretty harsh medical circumstances.
Right.
I just think it should be considered.
Right. I don't know.
And Mr. Redford's making a point. I'm just going to read that in case anyone didn't see it.
Well, we can't,
Mascot.
we're closed for public comment.
Okay.
Unless we want to reopen public comment, you know? You want to reopen public comment? Albert?
I don't,
There's more people that have come in.
I can't hear you.
It looks like there's more people that have attended.
Okay.
I don't know
Well-
if they respond or would want to have anything to say. There's some chat going on.
Well, that's irrelevant. Unless we open up public comment.
Right. Well, at this point, I guess, I don't really know if there's a necessity to do it based on what we've been discussing and where we're at this point. We have option B with, or motion B with a second, and then, I mean, motion A with a second and motion B without a second.
To reopen public comment, you would need a motion as well.
Would there be a motion for anyone to want to reopen public comment?
I make the motion. I like to hear what everybody says.
Okay. Then I guess we are back in
There has to
public
be,
comment.
you need a second. You need a second.
Sorry.
Second.
I'll second the motion to open it. You got to table the other two, the other motion. The second motion didn't have a second, so it's dead.
Okay, so you're going to table motion A of part I. Correct?
Yeah, motion. The first motion to,
Yes, you're tabling that, and then you're making a motion to reopen public
Public.
comment. Gotcha.
So we have a second to reopen public comment.
yes,
So call for
Debbie
a vote.
seconded.
Calls for a vote.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are now back in open. Pardon me?
I said nay, I don't vote for public comment to be opened again.
Okay. 2 yeas and 1 nay. So,
How about
Motion
you?
carried.
How about you, Al?
well, I had said nay because of
Okay.
where we are already at in past discussions.
So it's
So-
2-2?
At this point, it'd be 2-2.
so it wouldn't open.
You want to further discuss it?
Does it open with a 2-2 vote?
No. But you could discuss it. You could discuss it further.
Well,
My stance on why I say nay was that we've already put the parent survey out. The parents and the instructional staff has already commented. I'm not sure what other discussion needs to be taken. It would just become an open debate of,
I lost my screen.
so.
Which I can concur with Jeff on that. And even what you said, Tony, it's where, I'm fine in the end with, mask being optional, whatever, not just here, but in general. But based on the survey, it's only fair to side with the majority. It's not that like one side more than the other, but majority of the survey was in favor of keeping mask on.
And in addition, not that we follow our host district, we've always
Right.
been considerate to follow our host district. However, when it has deemed us necessary to deviate from that, if this survey came back in the opposite direction of what our host district was, Pennsbury, it'd be a different conversation. But again, I'm taking both into consideration. the first consideration is the survey. The second is our host district that we follow and are guided by. Look towards them also, and they are still having masks on. They have, what, 900 students in the high school and whatever, 4,000 students in every school total, or whatever it is.
Did Pennsbury,
There's something there.
put out a survey?
I don't know how they come up with that.
You know, Tony?
I don't believe so.
You don't
Yeah,
think so?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, so Pennsbury never went out, surveyed out to their administration, their staff members, all their stakeholders, student population, parents. They never put out a survey.
No, I didn't. But, you know, you can go to a school board meeting if you want entertainment. But I mean, we could ask, but I don't believe they did. I can ask. I have somebody that is very close to it, and I'll ask. But I don't believe they did.
Mm.
I feel the same way as Tony. I'm not one for masks, but I'm taking everything into consideration. That's why I asked the question, what's Pennsbury doing?
right.
What are the results of the survey?
What's the Chamonix doing?
It was in the administrator's report.
Yeah. Wasn't the Chamonix included in that?
It was all the districts that send to our.
Did they?
Currently,
I can bring it back up.
Yeah, I'm on.
Well, President,
I'm on some other-
91% of the students.
I'm on some other screen. Does anybody know why?
No,
You're what?
Introducing Zoom apps. They're trying to sell me an app.
that popped up on me once.
I don't know how to get rid of it.
I suggest Google Meet. Not that I'm biased.
It's-
Is this what you were looking for, Ray?
Yeah, right.
There
I
you
don't
go.
see anything about what the school district's doing. The only thing I see is that last paragraph there of who are breakdown of students per
Right.
district. I don't see, Brian or Tony, we didn't have any information about what the other districts are doing.
I know the Council
Yeah, I
Rock,
did.
Council Rock is mask optional. I believe, I just don't, I don't know.
I
I
have
don't know
here.
if
I'll
it's
pull it
Chamonix
right
or
up.
not,
Hold on.
Okay,
but I'm
I
not
have-
sure.
I have it. Hold on.
then I'll stop sharing this one and bring up the,
I'm gonna pull up my agenda. Okay. Okay. Presently, Pennsbury, Bristol Township, and Morrisville require masking within the school. Council Rock and Ben Salem have masking optional. Did you hear that?
yes,
Okay.
We don't have any Chamonix students. Is that
No.
right?
Nope.
Wow.
We used to.
Hmm.
As recently as last year. I just checked Robert's Rules of Order. In order to pass a motion, you have to have a majority, and the board president's vote counts just like everybody else's. So you're tied. So unless someone moves one way or the other, the motion is dead.
thank you,
And the
Tony.
motion for it was public comment. Open up the public
Yes.
comment, correct?
Correct. Do you want to take another vote?
Why would we be opposed to public comment opening up? I'm confused here, guys.
I have no idea.
I was opposed to it due to the fact that we've already opened it up for public comment from the survey. We've had the information, and I'm not sure what benefit it would be.
Right,
Well, I typically think that the benefit is that someone may not be real familiar with board procedure and want their voice to be heard. I don't know.
Do we know if anyone wants to speak? Because during public comment, no one came forward.
right, earlier they didn't.
I don't know if anyone, like if you open it up again, is anyone coming forward to comment?
Well, no one's saying anything in the chat for wanting to speak.
Ian Radford just said he would.
But his internet's not. He's not aware if his internet will give him a problem. And there's another parent asking if the board sees what the parents are asked on the survey.
Same survey, certain survey went to the staff as it went to the parent community, correct? No?
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Oh,
It was the
same
it was the
survey, right?
Same one. Yep. It was very basic.
Okay.
It was. Do you want this or do you want that?
Someone's saying that no parents had to select family name. I don't think that's true.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not
What's that
sure
gonna
what that means.
Jason, are you in the meeting?
Yes, I am.
Someone's saying that no parent had to select a family name for the survey. Is that accurate?
Let me check with that.
I thought they did.
I believe they did as well.
I thought we did that to prevent anyone from voting more than once.
That was the intent.
Right.
That's how we knew there was like 15 families in it.
The survey required an email address to be attached to each family member and a family name to be selected out of a list of all current family names and how many students they had at BCMCS.
So I thought. And Mr. Redford said he'd like to speak, but he's not sure if his internet connection would prohibit that or not. So. So what do you guys want to do?
Well, there's a motion on the table.
And there was a vote 2-2.
Right.
Do you want to take a second vote? Al?
We can. I was just seeing there was things, I guess, vote to open public session. Motion. I guess we're still where we're at.
Okay. Well then,
So then,
if
no,
there's no motion, you could go back to item I.
right.
So we go back to item I,
Yes.
okay?
So now would we vote on the motion that has,
Well, there's
To-
only one motion that had a second. So
Right, that
yeah,
was-
you
that was
would have to
that.
untable that.
I vote, do we vote to untable it?
So you made the motion, so you could untable it, yes.
I motion to untable IA, maintain the present masking policy.
And you have a second, so you can take it to a vote, or you can have further discussion on it.
I'm ready for vote.
I'm ready for more discussion. What's the time frame here? See, the problem here we're running into, in my opinion, is that the motion itself we're not maintaining the present masking policy. We're maintaining our previous motion, okay, which was approved by all, that included a masking policy. That was option A as opposed to option B back in August. Okay?
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
That included,
I understand.
that included emergency meetings being called, right?
Or you could basically
So does this need to be
motion, you
amended?
could motion to maintain the present health and safety policy, which includes a section on masks.
Right. Right. And everything that was included in it, like revisiting this. Correct? Well, I make a motion that we fix this language a little bit. Yeah,
Are you saying that you want to revisit this more frequently?
according to the current health and safety policy that we have in place, that includes the present masking policy. It also included many other things. So essentially what this motion is saying is we want to maintain the same health and safety policy and either move to optional masking within the school building or to maintain the present masking policy. And if we're going to maintain and go with motion A to maintain the present masking policy as being incorporated into the overall and overarching health and safety plan that we've approved, then I'm assuming then that this means that everything else remains in place. Like if more information becomes available that masks are completely unnecessary, superfluous, don't work, then we can then amend the policy.
But you always had that option, right? And
Not according to this motion here.
well,
Not according to this motion. I don't think it's specific of that or specific enough.
So I guess,
you're
Let me
asking
question this. We're
Jeff
not-
to change the motion.
well, let me back up. So for an open discussion, so Ray, what you're basically saying, at least unless I'm misreading what you're saying, is that, so within our health and safety policy, we have a masking provision,
So far, yep.
correct?
Right.
Right? So so this motion or this review should either be brought up in the review of the BCMCS school health and safety policy, or this motion would even need to be in place. We're not making any change to the masking policy. The masking policy is already in place. The only thing that should be there is B. Right?
That
Is that what I'm understanding?
You could do that. And if
That-
there's no motion passed, then the current
The motion-
policy
the
stays in
motion
place.
should
Policy's not
the
changing.
motion should state whether we want to amend our current health and safety policy.
To reflect make a masking within the school building optional.
Optional.
Right? So it should be just one motion stating, it should be motion B, and we should elevate and change I to say review of BCMCS school health and safety, I'm sorry, I don't know the official name, policy. And the motion would be then to make masking within the school building optional. And
Okay.
strike motion A, A motion. Is that
Jeff,
accurate, Ray?
That's
Jeff, you could strike motion A, okay? And if you want that other motion, you make the other motion. If not, you don't make a motion. And whatever currently stands
Yeah.
stays in place.
Correct, right?
So the first
Right.
question is, are you dropping your motion?
I'm trying to remember what I just said.
So basically,
I get it.
if you drop your motion, then there's either no motion or a motion to
And there's no
revise the
vote.
policy.
So I can motion to strike motion A, and can I motion to strike this whole?
You can only motion to strike the motion you made.
right.
And then what happens to motion B that already got?
Well,
What happens
there's
to that?
It only got
there's
one
no
vote.
second, so it dies unless there's a second.
I vote to strike motion A.
Is there a second?
I'll
I'll
second
second
that.
that.
Any further discussion on that?
Can somebody repeat what we just said? No, I'm just kidding.
And at this point, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that would be unanimous.
Now, there is a motion from Ray for
Right.
B. And there'd have to be a second.
I'm just not comfortable making a motion based on the survey results, and
And then if there's no second, then the motion just dies. And then basically whatever's in place currently just stays the same.
Okay,
There's no second, then I guess B dies.
So now you're on to motion J.
Right. So I guess at this point, with no other business to address, following motions in order to adjourn.
I'll motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. Any discussion on that? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we have adjourned.
To the valley.